the king who is cursed to walk the earth forever. In the dead of night, beneath a sky cloaked in endless darkness, an eerie figure roams the ancient lands of Africa. His eyes burn with a sorrow that spans centuries, and his footsteps echo like distant thunder. They call him the cursed Kinga ruler, doomed to wander the earth forever, his every step haunted by a terrible past. Tonight, as a forbidden ritual stirs the winds of fate, his lonely journey unfolds in a tale of magic, horror, and mystery, so gripping that you won't dare look away until the final moment. Stay with us, for this is a story of a cursed destiny and a hope buried deep within eternal night. The rise and fall of a mighty king. Once, in a prosperous kingdom nestled among the towering baobab trees and rolling savannas, there lived a wise and powerful king named Mosi. Beloved by his people for his fair rule and courage, King Mosi led his kingdom with honor and strength. His palace was a marvel of art and wisdom, its walls echoing the laughter of his joyful subjects and the rhythmic beat of ancient drums. Yet, within the heart of the kingdom, dark envy began to stir. A trusted advisor, a man once honored for his wisdom, harbored a secret desire for power. In the dead of night, this advisor made a pact with a mysterious spirit of the underworld, a spirit known for its cruel bargains and dark magic. With whispered incantations and a vial of forbidden poison, the advisors set a curse that would shatter the king's fate. The curse was crafted in secret. King Mosi, despite his valor and justice, was doomed to lose his mortal crown. Instead, he would be forced to walk the earth as a lonely spirit, forever separated from the land he loved. As the curse took hold, the once great king began to suffer. His body withered, his face turned to Shan, and the life that once shone in his eyes faded into an eternal darkness. On a stormy night, amidst the cries of a broken people, King Mosi vanished from his throne, leaving behind a kingdom plunged into despair and mystery. The curse unfolds. In the years that followed, legends spread far and wide about the cursed king who roamed the lonely plains and haunted forests. It was said that on moonless nights, his ghostly figure could be seen drifting along forgotten roads, his tattered royal cloak whispering secrets to the wind. His eyes, filled with a deep and endless sorrow, told the tale of a man betrayed not only by fate, but also by those he trusted. In a small village on the edge of the great wilderness, elders warned the children, "If you see the cursed king, run, for his presence foretells doom and despair." And yet, among the fearful whispers, there was one brave soul who was drawn to the mysterious young storyteller named Abeni, fascinated by the old tales and determined to uncover the truth behind the curse. Abeni set out on a journey that would lead her into the heart of darkness and beyond. Abeni's quest began at the ruins of the old palace, where the shadows of the past lingered like ghosts. Amid the crumbling stones and overgrown courtyards, she discovered ancient carvings and faded murals that spoke of King Mosi's glory and his tragic fall. In one broken inscription, she read, "When the spirit of betrayal binds a noble heart, the curse shall tether him to the earth, and only the light of true remorse can free him." The words ignited a spark of hope in her heart of belief that perhaps the curse could be broken, and the cursed king restored to his former honor. The journey to the heart of darkness. Determined to bring redemption to the fallen king, Abeni ventured deep into the wilderness, following the faint trails of old legends. Her path led her through dense jungles where the cries of wild creatures echoed in the night, across endless deserts where the sand whispered ancient secrets, and along winding rivers that glistened like silver under the stars. On her journey, Abeni encountered many mysterious signs. Strange symbols carved into ancient trees, odd footprints that vanished without a trace, and eerie lights dancing on the horizon. Each sign pulled her deeper into the mystery of the curse, hinting at a powerful magic hidden within the very soil of the land. One fateful evening, as a heavy fog blanketed the earth, Abeni reached a crossroads marked by a towering baobab tree, its massive trunk scarred by time. Beneath the tree sat an old, weathered man with eyes that shone like burning embers. He introduced himself as Baba Kofi, a wise seer known to have witnessed the dark arts of old. Baba Kofi spoke in a low, gravelly voice to lift the curse of the cursed king. You must find the 3 sacred relics lost in the folds of time. These relics, hidden by ancient spirits, hold the power to mend a broken soul. Seek the orb of dawn, the feather of the midnight bird, and the tear of the ancestors. Baba Kofi pressed a small, intricately carved amulet into Abeni's hand. This amulet will guide you to the relics. But beware, the path is fraught with perils, and the curse's shadow will seek to stop you at every turn. With the amulet close to her heart, Abeni thanked Baba Kofi and set off once more, her resolve hardened by the weight of her mission. The relics of redemption. The Orb of Dawn, Benny's first destination, was the ancient ruins of a sunken temple rumored to lie at the edge of a vast, forgotten lake. The temple, covered in creeping vines and moss, was a relic of a time when the gods walked among men. In its center, resting on a stone pedestal, was the Orb of Dawn, a glowing sphere said to capture the first light of the morning sun. But the temple was not unguarded. As Abeni stepped cautiously inside, the ground trembled and the air thickened with an eerie silence. From the shadows, spectral guardians emerged, ancient protectors, bound to the relic. With quick thinking and the amulet's subtle guidance, Abeni recited a prayer of peace and respect. The spirits, recognizing her noble purpose, allowed her to approach. With trembling hands, she grasped the Orb of Dawn, feeling a surge of warm, radiant energy that promised hope and renewal. The feather of the midnight bird. Next, Abeni journeyed to a dark, enchanted forest where legend spoke of a mystical bird that only appeared at the stroke of midnight. The midnight bird was known for its rare, iridescent feather that shimmered with the secrets of the night. The forest was thick with twisted trees and tangled undergrowth, and every rustle in the leaves sent chills down her spine. At the heart of the forest, beneath a canopy of starless skies, Abeni spotted the majestic creature perched on a branch. Its eyes glowed like twin moons, and its plumage was a cascade of deep blues and purples. The bird sang a haunting melody, a song of sorrow and longing that resonated with the pain of the cursed king. After a moment of silent communion, the bird shed one single, luminous feather. Abeni gently caught it as the feather floated down like a tear from the night, its beauty and power undeniable. The tear of the ancestors. The final relic lay hidden in a place of deep reverence, a sacred valley known as the Whispering Hollow, where the voices of the ancestors could be heard in the wind. The valley was a realm of quiet majesty, where ancient trees stood as silent sentinels, and the earth pulsed with the memories of generations past. In the center of the valley, a crystal-clear spring bubbled up from the ground. Legend had it that on nights of rare stillness, the spring would weep a single, pure tear that held the collective grief and wisdom of the ancestors. Abeni waited through a long, moonlit vigil until the sky was at its darkest. Then, as if in response to her steadfast heart, the spring shimmered and a solitary tear emerged, floating gracefully to the surface. With a reverence born of deep respect, Abeni gathered the tear of the ancestors, knowing that this relic carried the hope of redemption itself. The confrontation with the curse. Armed with the 3 sacred relics, Abeni returned to the haunted lands where the cursed king roamed. The air grew colder as she neared an ancient mist-rooted forest where the king was said to wander. The trees here twisted into grotesque shapes, and the ground was carpeted with fallen leaves that whispered with voices of the past. At the heart of the forest, near the ruins of a once grand palace, Abeni finally encountered the cursed king. His once noble face was now a mask of anguish and despair, his eyes reflecting the endless burden of his curse. Clad in tattered remnants of royal attire and surrounded by a faint, ghostly glow, the king regarded Ebony with a mix of sorrow and guarded hope. "Who dares approach the cursed wanderer?" his voice echoed, filled with a blend of ancient authority and deep pain. "I am Ebony," she replied, her voice steady, despite the fear that clutched her heart. "I have come to free you from the curse that binds your soul." The king's eyes softened, and for a moment, the shadows of his former glory shone through. "I was King Mosi," he said, his tone heavy with regret. "Betrayed by those I trusted, I was cursed to roam these lands for all eternity. The curse feeds on my sorrow, my regrets, and my unending grief. It is a punishment and a torment, a reminder of what was lost." Ebony stepped closer and showed him the relics. "These relics hold the light of hope and the wisdom of the ancestors," she explained. "They have the power to break even the darkest of curses. But first, you must confront the truth of your past and seek forgiveness from yourself. And perhaps from those who wronged you." The cursed king looked at the relics with a longing that was both heart-wrenching and fierce. "Then let the ritual begin," he whispered, his voice trembling with a mix of fear and determination. The ritual of redemption. Beneath the twisted canopy of the haunted forest, Ebony and the cursed king prepared for the ancient ritual. They cleared a small circle of earth and placed the relics in a sacred triangle. The orb of dawn at the northern point, the feather of the midnight bird at the eastern side, and the tear of the ancestors at the southern edge. In the center, the king knelt, his head bowed in solemn acceptance of his fate. Ebony began the incantation, her words simple yet filled with raw emotion. The wind carried her voice, intertwining it with the murmurs of the ancient trees and the whispers of unseen ancestors. As the incantation grew louder, the relics began to glow with an ethereal light, their powers awakening from centuries of slumber. Good. The orb of dawn radiated a warm light that pushed back the encroaching darkness. The feather of the midnight bird shimmered with the cool hues of twilight, and the tear of the ancestors sparkled like starlight on still water. Together, they bathed the clearing in a magical glow that felt both tender and fierce alike, born of hope and the pain of history. Slowly, the cursed king's form shuddered as the dark energy of the curse writhed within him. Memories of betrayal and loss flooded his mind, each one a piercing reminder of the night his fate was sealed. Tears streamed down his gaunt face as he cried out, "Forgive me! Forgive me for the wrongs I could not prevent." Ebony's voice grew strong and clear, urging him to let go of the sorrow that bound him. "Embrace the light of truth and forgiveness," she chanted. "Let the wisdom of the ancestors free your soul." With each word, the relics shone brighter, their energies merging into a single, powerful beam of light. The cursed energy that had clung to King Mosi began to break apart, shattering like brittle glass. In a final, shuddering moment, the dark veil that had haunted him for centuries lifted, revealing a man of dignity and sorrowful wisdom beneath. The forest around them exhaled a long-held breath as the ritual reached its climax. The oppressive gloom lifted, and the first rays of dawn began to seep through the canopy. King Mosi's eyes, once haunted by eternal torment, now glimmered with the promise of a new beginning. The curse was broken his spirit, though scarred by the past, was finally free. A new dawn and lingering shadows. As the light of dawn grew stronger, King Mosi rose from the earth with a newfound clarity. Though still bearing the marks of his tragic past, his spirit was no longer shackled by the curse that had forced him to wander in darkness. He turned to Ebony, gratitude and sorrow mingling in his gaze. Your courage and kindness have saved me," he said softly. "I will spend the rest of my days making amends and guiding my people from beyond the veil, so that my mistakes may never be repeated." Abeni smiled through tears, feeling both the weight of the past and the hope of the future. "Every ending is a new beginning," she replied. "May your soul find peace, and may the light of truth guide us all." Word of the miraculous ritual spread throughout the land. The villagers, who had long feared the ghostly wanderer, began to see him as a symbol of redemption and hope, a reminder that even the deepest wounds can be healed with truth, forgiveness. Yet, in the quiet hours of the night, whispers of the old curse still lingered. Some believed that the darkness might one day return, that the forces of betrayal and sorrow could rise again if the lessons of history were forgotten. And so, the tale of King Mosi, the king who was cursed to walk the earth, forever became a timeless legend. A story of magic, horror, and the eternal struggle between light and darkness. The echo of a curse, passed in the gentle light of a new dawn. The spirit of King Mosi became a guardian, a spectral guide for those who sought redemption, and a reminder that even the darkest curse can be undone. His story, woven into the fabric of African lore, is told around crackling fires and whispered in the rustle of ancient leaves. For in every heart, there lies the power to overcome betrayal, to rise above sorrow, and to embrace the light, even when the night seems endless. And so, as the years roll on and the winds of fate continue to blow, remember the tale of the cursed king, a story that teaches us that redemption is always within reach, and that every soul, no matter how lost, can find its way back to the light.